traveling is exciting, but a lot of people don't know that there are economic
values
attached.
They only
to
think about going to have fun.
That's right. So a lot of people don't even know that Nigeria makes billions of dollars from traveling Nigerians. So I'm going to tell you all about that today, right? So, but before I go on, Rachel, do you like traveling?
Of course, I do. I'm adventurous in nature, so I love traveling.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. It's one of my most fun things to do. Anyways, traveling is very, very important to any economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to talk about this today because really, I get a lot of calls. I did a couple of years ago. I did a little bit of travel consultancy. So people who knew I used to do visas would still call me today. Like last week, somebody called me and said, "I need to go to China. How much?" I said, "I don't do visas anymore." Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I needed to point out some things, right? Because Nigerians have always wanted to travel, always loved to travel, right? But there's a big mistake, and I remember in the earlier days of this show, we did something similar where we give people advice on, how to choose the best countries to go to.
Yes, yeah.
Right? So you find Nigerians all over the world, right? You find Nigerians in Oman, you find Nigerians in Cyprus, you find Nigerians everywhere. But I'm trying to call some of the worst places that Nigerians live today. Oman, Cyprus, some of the how do you call it, Arabian countries.
Okay.
And Nigerians are going through a tough time in some of those countries. Can you imagine that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Nigerians in Libya, and Libya is a war-torn country, right?
Mm-hmm.
But can you ask yourself the question: what would make a person leave a country where there isn't a war and move to a country where there is war going on? That means that the country where they're coming from must feel like hell for them.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's really why many Nigerians are running away. They don't see a future in Nigeria, right? Many of these young people roaming different streets of different countries globally are graduates who graduated in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years after graduating, no job, no hope for the future. They can't help their families. I listened to a young man yesterday talk about how he tries to help his family with his very little salary, and his parents are sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that people are really suffering in this country. And this young man is owing debts all over the place because his salary is not enough to take care of his family, right? And he's trying to make it work, and he's failing at that, right?
Yeah.
And so imagine somebody like this can actually decide one day and pack up his bags and just leave the country, hit the streets, right? Mm-hmm. And you ask him,